Hello and welcome to the presentation on how to write poetry or make a valiant attempt at writing poetry. The purpose of this presentation is to help you to get a little more comfortable with writing a poem because many people feel overwhelmed or inadequate when they're asked to write a poem. There are a few basic steps that you can follow to make the whole writing process a little easier. Writing a poem are preparation, choosing what to write, writing your poem, and reviewing your poem. Preparation and choosing what to write are interchangeable, but for the purpose of this presentation, the steps will be discussed in this order. The first step to writing a poem is preparation. First, you want to prepare your space and prepare yourself so that you are ready to spend time writing. When you prepare your space, first you want to choose a location that you are comfortable staying in for an extended amount of time as you write and possibly revise. After you choose your space, you want to choose your medium. This is where you are going to be recording your poem, whether you're writing it in a Word document on the computer or in a notebook. When you have chosen your medium, it's time to move on to removing any distractions. If you are in an area where there are a lot of people, try your best to isolate yourself to avoid distractions or being interrupted. If you are on a computer or have a phone, turn off any applications or notifications. Try to work in relative quiet, but if you must have some sort of background noise like music or television to facilitate creativity, choose something that you are familiar with so that your brain can naturally filter it out instead of trying to decipher lyrics or who is talking in the background. After you have gotten your space completely prepared, move on to preparing yourself for writing. The main idea of preparing yourself is so that you are in a relaxed writing state. Work out any pre-writing jitters by taking a walk, getting a snack or drink, or using the restroom before you start. This way you are better prepared for writing from the moment you start instead of feeling like you need to get up the moment you sit down. Once you've made the necessary preparations for writing, it's time to choose what to write about and how to write your poem. This is the point at which you decide what the topic or subject of the poem is going to be. In many cases, someone else may choose the subject or topic of the poem for you. Assignments are a good example of having your poetry topic or choice chosen for you. Often in creative writing or English classes, teachers will assign poetry as a writing topic, like having students writing about sonnets if they are about to learn about Shakespeare. If you are in a more professional writing field, you may be asked at one point to write a poem as a commission. This is when someone is paying you to write about a specific topic or subject of their choice. At one point, you may also fall in love and decide to try and impress your potential significant other with your sweet writing skills. You may also have a favorite author whose writing style you want to practice for yourself, or you just may feel inspired to write. It's a wonderful thing when that happens. But if you find yourself staring at a blank sheet of paper or document with no idea what to write, you may wish to consider using the 100 Themes Challenge. The 100 Themes Challenge is a list of 100 prompts on various subjects for you to choose to write about. You can find the 100 Themes Challenge by doing a web search, or you can visit the website that is shown on screen. This website has a page that is dedicated to a compilation of different versions of the 100 Themes Challenge for you to work. Once you have chosen what to write about, it's time for you to write your poem. This is the point of the creative process when you are essentially getting your thoughts and ideas on the page. Don't worry about the writing being perfect or even making sense. This draft is for your eyes only. At this point, if you need to, feel free to get up and take a short break from the writing process. But don't take too long a break, or you may lose interest or lose your place in the writing. If you're one of those people who likes to power through with writing until you're finished, that's fine too. If you are new to writing and you feel like this is simply taking forever, it may help you to set a timer to write within a certain set of parameters, and when your timer goes off, you can take a break and then come back. After you've finished your poem, it's time for the revision process. The first step is to actually let the poem sit for a while. This is especially useful for first-time writers who may be tempted to immediately discard their work and start over the moment they are finished, because they feel that it's not good enough or it's simply not ready. Letting your poem sit can also help you to avoid any unnecessary or unrealistic changes to your work. If you do not have a set deadline, I recommend letting your poem sit for a day or two. If you have a set time that you're expected to turn in your poem in or work on it in the near future, let it sit for about 30 minutes to an hour at the very least. Once you have let the poem sit for a while, it's time to move on to the next part of the revision process, reviewing the subject. This is the point at which you compare what you have written to the prompt or subject that you have chosen. For example, if you're writing a poem about cats, make sure that you have referenced pets somewhere in your work, even if it's not blatantly obvious. After you've reviewed the subject of the poem, it's time to review the style, diction, and grammar. The style of the poem is more important if you are expected to be writing within a specific set of parameters, like if you are working with a haiku, a sonnet, or some other set rhyme scheme. If you are free to write however you like, at least make sure that the poem has some flow to it. Once you have reviewed the style, it's time to look at the diction or the word choice of your poem. This is especially important because this is what your audience is going to be working with as they try to visualize the ideas that you want to convey. Make sure that you choose words that adequately express what you want others to take away from your poetry, whether they're reading it or listening to it. Finally, review for grammar. This is important if you're turning in a poem for publication or as an assignment. If nothing else, make sure that everything is spelled correctly and your punctuation is in the right place. Once you have reviewed your poem, make any necessary revisions and changes to enhance your poem. Feel free to move back through the entire review process if it makes you more comfortable with your work. Once you've decided that your poem is done, you can now relax because you successfully followed all the steps for writing poetry.